On this particular track, there'll be certain room mics that I'll show you where they have a specific ambience and sound to them, I think. And also some drum processing that we did at the time. On the Gold specifically, we spent a lot of time on the drum sound. The guys needed the drum sound to feel correct in order for them to perform together. And I remember having a discussion with Rob, who plays guitar, but he's also an amazing engineer and producer in his own right. He was suggesting, he said, like, should we run it through this sort of particular bits of gear in order to get the sound that we wanted? And once I'd established what they were actually looking for, it was more to do with mic placement rather than what we were kind of running it through. I remember sort of going into the room and the mic was sort of on a 45-degree angle to the snare skin, and I just tilted it so that it was parallel. And they were like, yes, that's it. Or something like along the lines happened. I sort of gave myself a little smile. I was like, yes, I actually do know what I'm doing. So funny, that kind of self-doubt that you experience on a daily basis in the studio. And I definitely felt that a lot on this record. They had an amazing control room and wonderful assistants, and it was a great little desk. The setup was quite extensive on this project because the room was so vast. I wanted to obviously have the close mics set up, but I also wanted to have a large range of room mics because everything sounded different in different corners and different spaces in the room. I also remember we had to make like a little house for Timmy because we had some baffles set up, but we couldn't get the contrast between the sort of tight sounds and the really ambient sounds. So we built a little canopy for him, and I remember him getting very hot in his little house. He needed to have lots of breaks. We made this album in 2016. You'll hear in a minute when I show you the difference between where the mix ended up and the first initial live performance desk mix. There is a vast difference. A lot of work went into this song, both pre-production in the studio and then back at the boys' studio in Atlanta. I'll go through all the sort of individual elements of what we tracked initially and then a lot of the overdubs. The boys referred to this album as a science experiment. I think it really was, because what differed from my sort of previous experiences, especially like on Wolf Alice, where there was a sort of a lot more freedom and less rules. It wasn't so much that there were rules, but there were very specific sounds that we were trying to achieve, and we really had to go and hunt for them, which again, that was an experience that I really enjoyed and was brand new for me because it kept pushing me to work harder and achieve what they were looking for. And when we finally did, it was definitely high fives all round. But before that, it was like a lot of pacing going on. I'll give them a call. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
TV on for the kids.
No, that's okay. I've literally just talked about how my sort of expectation was of coming into the record and how wrong I was, and how you got the expectations that we all had and how we had to really hunt for sounds. But now I'm just about to dive into talking about like the individual aspects of the track. Do you remember what we tracked live and then what we overdubbed? And did we overdub at Echo Mountain or in Atlanta?
We did all the overdubs in Atlanta, I think, other than the piano. Yeah, and then we did the overdub drums in the bridge, obviously, up at Echo.
Oh, what overdub drums?
In the bridge, it's two parts. There's the snare roll and then the big tom hit.
Totally forgot about that. I will talk about that. That's an awesome moment in the song.
Another big part was when we realized to take out the rhythm electric guitars and lean heavily onto the acoustics.
Yeah.
As rhythm track, and all of a sudden that gave us this like shaker percussive vibe to it and like changed the element, because we kept trying to chase it as a rock song, and then like the more rock elements we took out of it, weirdly the more it started rocking more.
I know, that's really evident actually in the first Monitor mix, I think. We were trying to go lean into the electrics and actually it became so much cooler.
The vocal layering in the chorus was another big like key moment too. Like once we dialed in all four parts at the studio studio in Atlanta. I remember like having that moment to be like, okay, there's our chorus.
Yes. I was that like late night recording when remember then when there was a thunderstorm?
Yeah, and we thought someone was breaking in the house.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, lots of elements of this record were made when everybody else was sleeping.
I know.
That feeling, like no one else is awake anywhere near us, you know?
I know. Thank God that house was soundproof. You guys are amazing. I might check in later if there's anything else that I need prompting, but I miss you guys.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
I love those guys. Yeah, we have such a great working relationship now, to the point where often Andy just has to look at my facial expression to tell whether I'm into something, and I just look at his eyes to tell whether he's into something or not. And Rob and I just have nerdy fun together. And we started to have nerdy fun on this as well. So I'll talk about the drums first because they were so kind of crucial to this song and for them to be able to feel like they can react to it. And like Andy just said, initially it had been a kind of electric guitar song, but something wasn't feeling quite right, so we kind of lent more into the acoustic guitar side. Also on this track, we, myself and Rob, we were probably bored one day and just wanted to process something. So we started running vocals through pedals, like reverb and delay pedals. I think they had a Memory Man and we used a Holy Grail. So that was back in 2016 and I've been doing something similar ever since. I just will rock up to a studio without anything else other than a delay pedal and the Holy Grail, and that's the vocal effects send essentially.